Are you serious? CMEs! I mean, they are really coming toward the Earth. Coronal mass ejections from the sun, a solar storm has targeted the Earth. A pair, two of them, CMEs, have billowed away from the sun yesterday, December the 16th, 2015, and at least one of them appears to be headed directly for the Earth. Now this means, folks, a ton of pressure from the CME is going to affect tectonic plates somewhere on this planet, and that could cause major earthquakes, or it could hit a spot where there is no tectonic plate and somehow dissipate. But usually you're going to see an uptick in earthquakes, and you could see an earthquake over 6 or even over 7, very possible when you have very strong CMEs. Who knows? But anyway, this CME, it is propelled in our direction by an erupting filament of magnesium. The storm cloud could produce a G1 class geomagnetic storms when it arrives on December 19th. That's when the CME direct hit is going to hit the Earth. And it could cause a mega earthquake. I'm just telling you, I'm reading it right there from spaceweather.com. Now, the thing about this when this happens is the big white objects that are floating around. I mean, what you have here, you have the sun up there, and it has there's huge sunspots on it, and then what happens is there's eruptions. Solar winds then start blowing, and then you have these solar eruptions, and they release CMEs. But you know that it happens all the time. But if it happens to release a big one directly toward the Earth, then we get a direct hit. Now this could fry power grids. It could knock satellite radios off. It can do a lot of things. It really can. It could cause earthquakes and tsunamis. So it's just, you don't know. You just don't know. Or then again, it could hit in a spot where it doesn't do any damage. It hits in a real right in the middle of the ocean where there's no part of the ocean where there's no tectonic plate below it, no fault line nowhere, no power lines anywhere, and just dissipates away, and we're okay. So you don't know. But I'm giving you a heads up now that there is one coming. It's strong, it's big, and it's due to arrive on December the 19th. So just keep your eyes open and be aware of that, so that when something... Also, I'm going to give you one more thing. I've also noticed this, and I've heard other people say this as well, and I know I can verify this, and so can my wife Heidi, that a lot of times the arthritis in the joints really hurt. You get a lot of aches from whenever there's a CME on the Earth, whenever their waves are hitting the Earth. I'll wake up some morning and say, oh my, or I'm not even have to be in the morning, just be in the afternoon, whenever, to say, oh, I'm aching all over. And then I'll say, has there been a solar flare or something? Is there CMEs affect this? And I'll go and find out the information. And I mean, all the time this happens. Yes, there has been, and yes, there is. And so there's some, definitely a connection there. I don't have all the answers about that, and I don't understand the scientific reasoning behind it. I just can tell you it hurts, all right? That's all I can say. I can tell you it happens. So anyway, we'll continue to monitor this thing December 19th. Keep a close eye on it and see, if you hear of a major earthquake on that day, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Or if there's a blackout somewhere in the Earth, power blackout, major, don't be shocked. These CMEs can do that. You know what? The Bible tells us, keep looking up. The Bible says there'll be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. And men's hearts will fail them for fear of things coming upon the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Speaking of that, and then it says when that happens, then shall you see the Son of Man coming in a cloud of power and great glory. When these things begin to come to pass, he says, look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Today, speaking about things shaking up in the heavens, Gil Bursard will be my guest. Astronomer Gil Bursard will be my guest live today. And he's got breaking news on Planet X, Planet 7X, Nibiru. And we're going to ask him about the 1983 reports by two NASA scientists that discovered Planet X in the constellation of Orion. And then the fact that now these Chileans, scientists up in Chile, with the high-powered new telescopes, have spotted 2 planets in the same area as where the NASA found it. So there, in other words, is that Planet X and Nibiru? What does this all mean? And Gil, is that what you've been, Gil's been talking about it. What's the timing? Will we see the sign of Planet X? He's got some breaking news information he's going to share with us today on our show. So don't miss it. 12 noon Eastern at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com.